Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
You're listening to Simply Stogies, a monthly podcast dedicated to the cigar enthusiast. Light up a stogie, sit back and relax while James brings you along on his journey as a new cigar smoker. Simply Stogies will review cigars, discuss topics that cigar aficionados find important, and will probably learn a few things along the way. Now, here's your host of Simply Stogies, James.
Welcome to Simply Stogies. I am your host, James. Today we are at the PCA trade show, kind of. We're kind of on the outside of it right now, 2021. And I'm joined by Dan Pekowski.
Yes.
From Cigar Saver.
Cigar Saver, right.
Right. And so this is an interesting story, and I'm really excited to share this with you guys because I think it's a great product. And it's a great, I think you have a great story. Number one, how it was developed. Number two, like how this all came about here at the trade show and kind of how things work a little bit. But before we get to Dan and his story in Cigar Saver, I invite you to go to creativebraincandy.com and check out the great family of podcasts that we have there, including Eyes Forward March. Eyes Forward March is from a couple of veterans who are still active in the military. They are NCOs. That's non-commissioned officers, for those of you not in the know. Sergeant Cigar and Sergeant Bacon will take you through transitioning out of the military into civilian life and talk about all the things that are important to NCOs and soldiers everywhere. Check it out. Eyes Forward March, only on creativebraincandy.com. And while you're there, tell Sergeant Cigar to piss off. No, I'm joking. So he's actually here with me. He's here with me. He's my pack mule while we're here at the trade show. Tim's been doing a great job. So I really do appreciate Tim. He can still fuck off. So Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Officially.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to have you. So Cigar Saver, if you can't tell from the title, it's going to save your cigar when you got to put it down suddenly. But we'll get to all of that.
Right.
Here on this podcast, I want to know about you, the individual, the person who's come up with something that is, the hobby within the hobby, a cigar accessory. We want to find out about your journey. When did you start smoking cigars, Dan?
Probably about 4 years ago. Gave up drinking. I had a little issue with having alcohol and I had fast heart rate and stuff like that. So I just decided to quit, and then started having a cigar here and there, and just started enjoying it and stuff. And I fish a lot, and so I just go on a boat and I fish and have a cigar, and I just chill that way. So
coming up with cigar accessories is not your day job.
No. Oh, no.
No. What? Yeah. You actually work in construction. You're a general contractor.
I'm a general contractor. We do healthcare construction. We do senior living work and stuff like that. It's a family-owned business, LHA Construction. My wife runs the office. My son's here.
Yeah, your son's here with, we met him yesterday.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. Let me tell the story. We'll get back to your story and your journey. Because do you remember the first cigar you ever smoked?
No, I actually don't.
Really? No.
I was probably younger, but.
Do you remember the cigar that you went, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. I like this a lot.
Well, with my business and stuff, I used to supply some cigars to some clients here and there, and I started having some cigars with clients. So, and it just went from there, the flavor and everything. So I just started enjoying it. And
how many do you smoke a day, typically?
Typically a day or a week. I would say maybe 5 or 6 a week.
A week?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm so busy with work and stuff,
right.
So it's just, I'm not a fanatic smoker,
But that changed during COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for COVID, you were down for a couple of months, had a lot of downtime, and that's kind of where this brainchild, the Cigar Saver came from, right?
Exactly.
Walk me through that. So what happened where you went, I need something to save this cigar?
So it started out with, being off for 2.5 months. We do a lot of hospital work. So we have a lake house, and, I fish a lot. So I'm out there fishing, smoking a cigar, and I got a fish on, and I'm like, I got a cigar in my hand. I'm like, what do I do with this thing? I don't want to burn the seat. I don't want to, get ashes or whatever, and I'm like, I actually had to just throw it in the water, So from there, I'm thinking, I started searching, like, is there any way that, you could have the cigar, and have something to go into just so I don't, burn anything,
Right.
or, just to protect my, my personal stuff. And, so from there, I'm like popped in my head. I'm like, started searching things and I couldn't find anything, and so I go to Home Depot, start getting some material there, and I'm in my garage and I'm like cutting and drilling and I'm getting springs and I'm doing stuff, and I, my wife's out there, she supports me with everything too. Is great. She's like, so I'm out there drilling, putting springs on. One doesn't work. One does work, so it took me a while to perfect it and stuff like that. So I ended up putting slots in it and putting springs on it to where I have it today, and I just started using it. And I'm like, this could possibly be something, So a good friend of mine, his son just became a patent attorney. So I called him up and I'm like, hey, can you maybe do a search for me and, see what's out there like this and stuff. And, we found some stuff that was like from 1918 or, just a long time ago, just
Sure.
Nothing close to what we have today. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to go for it, So applied for the patent. I'm patent pending at this point. And that's pretty much how Cigar Saver, was born, So
Necessity is the mother of invention, they say.
yeah,
And that's definitely a necessity. Out on the boat, get a fish. What am I going to do with this cigar? I got to reel this sucker in. I'm just going to toss a cigar and light another one. It's a waste of money.
right.
This is not an inexpensive hobby. It's not. It's a hobby that costs
Exactly.
quite a bit of money. How many cigars do you have at home? Like in your collection?
About 40 or 50.
40 or 50. That's respectable.
Yeah.
I have 1,000.
I don't have 1,000 yet.
Yeah. I'm getting to the weeds, man. Like I got bit hard by the bug.
Right.
So you make this, and you started it just for yourself because you're like,
Yeah.
you needed something. And so that idea is like, oh, this could be something. Where did you go from there? Because everybody has those ideas, right? Where they,
Exactly.
So
My mind is like always going, and it's just, I'm 100 miles an hour all the time, So with work and whatever, I could do 10 things in my head at one time. And so I just, from there, I just started making the caps and everything and started using it. And now it's like I'm using it at home. I go outside, I'm cutting the grass, and then I got to come in and I'm like, I'm setting it down. I'm like, so I pop the cap on it and I set it off to the side, and then come back out, I light it up, and, so I use it quite a bit, for when, even when I'm driving or something like that, I'll light a cigar, and it's like, oh, I got a phone call, and I'm just, there's no more ashtrays in vehicles anymore, so I pop the cap on and, I go from there. So.
right. When you first made it, right, you said this could be something.
Right.
So you reach out to
reach out to my,
right. And
my patent
does
attorney.
From there, where did the process go? Because
Right.
it's not just something that you
No.
made in your garage.
No. So I've never did a product. I never did anything like this before. And I'm thinking, all right, so how do I get these things made? Like where do I go? I have no clue. So a friend of mine, he's like, I know somebody that is in the packaging business that they do Altoids boxes,
Sure.
So then it's like, so I call them up and they're like, they send them I send them the concept and everything, and they're looking at it like, oh yeah, we can make a die for you, right? And 2 days later, they're like, yeah, it's going to be $150,000 for a die.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $150,000 just for a die, right? So I keep searching. I find somebody else, and they got it down to $60,000, right? So, and I'm like,
That's still miles better than
so I'm,
$150,000.
my mood is just like, I can't make these things
Right.
in my garage. So I ended up talking one of my clients. He does all our signs for our business, for the construction business, sign outlet. And I'm just in there talking to him one day, and I'm like, yeah, I got this metal thing I'm looking for, because I was looking to put maybe engraving on it, and he does, the etched graving. So he goes like, well, I got a friend he's a machinist, he goes, great friend of mine. He goes, just give him a call, see what he says. Call the guy up, and I send him the pictures and stuff. He goes, yeah, I can do this. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? So he goes, come on. He goes, meet me at my house. So I go there and show him the, the concept and everything. Have put a cigar and stuff. He goes, wow, this is great, So he goes, well, how many you need? I'm like, I don't know, like I can make this. He goes, I've been a machinist all my life. He goes, I've worked for NASA. I've done, stuff for the Mars walk and stuff like that, and he started getting into specific metals to what we could use that wouldn't give off toxins and stuff like that. So that's where we came up with our two right now. So we have solid brass and aerospace aluminum. And so I'm like, I don't know, maybe 200-300 just to start, and he goes, okay. He goes, he takes the sample that I had. A week later, he goes, okay, I got them for you. You're done. I'm sitting there like, are you crazy? After all of this, of all the money they wanted to, people were telling me they had to spend for dyes and stuff. So he's been a wealth of knowledge, wealth of knowledge for me, and just getting it to this point, So he knows everybody like in the metal industry and stuff like that. So there's other avenues we could take to mass produce if we need to. So he's taken solid brass stock and making these caps.
These caps are great. So each cap, they come in different sizes that relate to the different vitolas of cigar. And each cap, and hopefully I'll get a picture up on the website, simplystogies.com. Each cap has 3 springs on it.
Correct.
That allow the cigar to slide in without ripping the wrapper.
Correct.
And then it kind of seals it in there. So Tim actually used one because you gave one to Tim yesterday. He came up to the room. I'm sitting there. So we'll talk about how we met here in a second. But he comes up to the room and he goes, all right. He's like, you're getting these guys on the podcast tomorrow. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm like, all right, Tim. All right. I'll get them on the podcast. Like, we'll talk with them. He's like, no, you don't understand. He's like, I just used it because I wanted to see if it worked. He goes, I put it in. He's like 30 seconds later, it's out. It's just done. He goes, this is perfect. Because Tim fishes all the time. He's out on his boat all the time. And it comes with the magnet on the bottom of it.
Yeah, we have a magnet on our bottom, just for attaching it to, like if you're in your garage, you could line them up or, put them wherever you have some steel. And, it's amazing. It saves you from burning anything. It instantly almost puts it out. The cap gets warm, from the heat of the cigar, but, cools down really quick. And, it's a very simple concept.
The application of this is, for me, when I go to a cigar lounge and I put the cigar down in the ashtray, right? Because you never stamp it out. That's not how you're supposed to do it, right? You're supposed to let it die a dignified death, right?
Right.
So you set it down. Inevitably, somebody comes by to empty the ashtray and it's like, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait because it's still burning. You put that in the trash, you're gonna start a fire.
Right.
And so every lounge has different ways that they combat that. This would it would make it a non-issue everywhere.
Correct.
So from a safety standpoint, it's brilliant. From a money-saving standpoint, it's brilliant. It's just a great concept overall. So like I said at the beginning of the show, we're here in Vegas for PCA 2021, and Tim and I. This is how Dan and I met, and his son Justin. We came, which is where we're at now. We're in the there's like a little conference center adjacent to the big area where the trade show is going on. And we came in here to do some work and edit some videos and get some content out during the show. And so we were sitting here, and Dan comes up and he goes, "Did I hear you guys say you were in a podcast?" And we're like, "Yeah." And, so gave me my card. He's like, "Well, here, like." They won't let me into the show. I thought we could just come in because you're not a PCA member. This is a brand new venture for you. You don't know how it works. Hell, this is my first show. I didn't know how anything worked. And you're like, we offered to pay to get in and pay the membership fee and everything. And they said, nope, sorry, you can't do that. Because you just wanted to find out, proof of concept. Will this work? Are
Correct.
people interested?
So that's what we're here for today.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, this is a great concept because I'm tired of having to sit a cigar down and then, it goes out and I forget about it. And, Tim's on the boat having to throw them away. So it's a great concept. So we started talking and I kind of introduced you to a couple of guys that we know in the industry. And so you're back today.
Oh, yeah. Last night was great. You said go to the casino. They all end up after the show
they all
at
end up
this
at the one
bar.
place. Yep.
And we found the bar, and it was amazing. It was like better than going probably to the show for us anyway, because we met so many great people. Everybody was friendly. Everybody was talking, and we had a phenomenal feedback, from a lot of the vendors and stuff like that. So, and especially Tim. Tim was just like, "This is just the freaking greatest idea."
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
Tim, he came up. He's like, "You're going to do this.
Oh, he's
You're
just
going to do
loving it.
this." I love it. I'm like, "It's a great idea." Yeah,
Right.
but my reach is small compared to some of the other guys. But no, I think it's a great product. When do you think you might actually launch this? Because you're still getting feedback from people.
We're just building our website. We're just looking for packaging. This isn't even out yet. And if this was coming to Vegas, when we got here, we thought, actually, we were sending emails back and forth with the PCA, and they were saying, yeah, you could become a member. So we just assumed we could come here, pay the fees, be a member. And, when they tell us that we can't get in, my jaw just dropped. And I'm like, because before this, a week ago, I've had a group of people, friends, close friends and everything, like, hey, we got to get these springs on these caps. And everybody jumped in, we're getting this all ready. Everybody was great, and then you get here and it's like, what, and then, so we're sitting here in this area, after, because, we didn't know what to do. And so, and then you guys walk up, and then we just started talking to you, and then everything took off from there. So I greatly, greatly appreciate everything I've done.
I'm glad I could point you in the right direction and get you in contact with some people. But yeah, so it's not even out yet. It's still proof of concept. But from here, where do you go? Because you're getting feedback from the people here at the show. You're getting feedback from everyone you're talking to. Where does it go from here, and how long do you think it's going to be before you're able to launch the product?
So I think coming to the show gave me the idea, the concept that this is going to be good. We are going to proceed with this. So I got to go back, talk to my metals guy, and we're going to start figuring the best way to start stamping these out and packaging. So we got to get our packaging in order, all our advertising. So the goal is try to have it out for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So
that's soon, huh?
Yeah, we're going to try to get out that soon. But the product looks so great, but you don't realize that if you have a bachelor party, you could send these things as a gift with an engraved name on it, or anniversary or birthdays, and then just personalize them. Even businesses, the cigar businesses, they could engrave their own names on there, and it just makes it that much better for selling cigars.
No, absolutely.
Let alone, the purpose of it,
Yeah, absolutely. Because every B&M can get their name on the side of it, have it done. Like it's versatile. It's an advertising thing. How much do you think these are going to cost? Because that's the big thing on everyone's mind. And I know, so there was a conversation yesterday. You had a price point in mind.
Right.
And I heard the conversation was, no. It's got to be higher than that. It's got to be higher than that. What do you think?
We are in that, realm of what are we actually going to sell them for? So right now, I think for, like $9.99 for one and like $25 for three.
So $25 for the set.
For the set.
And that would be MSRP, and then it'll be up to, the retailers, whatever they're going to sell them for.
Yeah. So that's, we still got to meet with people and and getting feedback with all that. So, we're not really sure what that exact price is going to be.
Right. So launch before Christmas. What's the website that you're working on? When do you think that'll be?
Actually, when we left, we were trying to get the domain name, and everyone was scrambling because of all of this that was going on. So it is www.cigarsaver.com.
There you go.
So my wife called, we got the domain name, and they're working on it this week. So
nice. So by the time this comes out, website will be up, you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you got a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll have it started. It's going to grow and everything. So.
Yeah, so cigarsaver.com. Check that out. This is such a great product. If you don't know what to, as I hit the mic, if you don't know what to do with your cigar when something comes up, you got to go inside. Look, I've been on forums before, and people always, like, not to be crude or crass, but smoking a cigar, I got to go take care of business. What do you do? What do you do with the cigar? This is an elegant solution for those types of problems. Do you think you're going to, like, from here, Are there going to be more products down the line? Or you think you have anything else in mind?
In the cigar industry?
Yeah.
You know, I have other ideas. You know, I do have a patent on another project that was just totally something different. But you know, I do have other ideas for venturing out a little bit. So, but this is the focus right now. And, you know,
with metal, you could go almost any direction. Ashtrays, you could come up with a line of ashtrays you could design. You could do stands, cigar stands. Literally, it's almost endless. So.
You know, people were asking for the box cut. You know, so we could probably
the box
we could
like
stamp them in a you know, a box cut shape.
Wow.
So that would take care of that end of it as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, my patent covers under all that as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How hard was that? Like the whole patent process, like, because people do this all the time. I've got a great idea. But then they run into that roadblock of, oh, well, it's going to cost X amount of investment. And I don't have that unless I find an angel investor. For you, like, you get to that patent process. How excited do you start getting for this?
Well, you know, it's I've been in, like, when I had my first patent and stuff, it was like, where do I go? You know, who do I trust? You know, everything that I've done with this has been people that I've talked to and known and reached out. And then it's almost becomes personal because, you know, you don't want your idea to get out, and who do you trust, you know? So for this round, it was actually easy because a good friend of mine's son, he just became the patent attorney, and he's working for a great firm. So we went to him, and they were excited. And so on that concept, I've trusted everybody so far going through this process, you know. But I've been in the shoes where, you know, where do you go? Like, what patent attorney do you call? You know, and it's like, you know, are they going to screw me? You know, and it's just. It is. It's scary because you're spending a lot of money just to find out if you can actually get a patent.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's this round. It wasn't as bad. My challenge was finding, you know, who was going to make it, and then I passed that. Now it was advertising and marketing and packaging is where I'm at now. So.
Well, I'm glad to be one of the first people to advertise, quote unquote, for you.
Oh yeah.
Get the word out. Check it out, cigarsaver.com. It's a great product. I'm sure by the time it hits market, it'll probably be a different iteration than what I've seen. Might maybe more tweaks. Who knows? But the concept is there. It's brilliant. It is absolutely ingenious, and it's going to save a lot of cigar smokers a lot of money, and that's really what they want.
Yeah, you know, it's the safety of it. You know, I'm solving one problem there. You know, you're not burning your cigars constantly. You could just instantly put it out, save it, and relight it, and you know, you don't have ashes all over the place.
Exactly.
You know, I love it.
Yeah. It's such a great product. You and your son Justin are great guys. I'm glad to have come in when we did and sat down.
It's amazing it all worked out.
Like how it all just kind of worked out. So check it out, everybody. Cigarsaver.com. Dan, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I appreciate everything.
Join me next time here on Simply Stogies podcast, where I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about, but I promise it'll be Simply Stogies. Stay smoky, friends.
Thank you for listening to Simply Stogies. Please rate and review Simply Stogies on iTunes. You can follow James on his cigar journey on Instagram at Simply Stogies Podcast, all one word, and on Twitter at the Twitter handle at Simply Stogies.